What up? Good morning. Good morning. You already know it's the all gas, no brakes. Now we still all gas, no brakes, but now we are transformed with Sennet. Today is my birthday. This is my birthday podcast. Today I am the big, young, 44 years old and still moving strong. All right. As you've seen, the title of today's episode is Small Habits, Big Changes, building a morning routine for success. All right. I know there's a lot of routines out there, and I know you're confused on certain things that you want to do with your life and you want to change your life in 2025 is coming up. So, no better than the present to get your life together. All right, and I'm gonna give you a few tips and things of that nature to write down and make sure you are being focused for 2025. All right, again, good morning, good afternoon, having a good day for everyone. Imagine waking up every day feeling in control and ready to conquer your goals. That's what we're gonna dive in today. All right. So, real quick, if you don't know my story, if you this is the first episode, if you just now tuning in to my podcast, I really want to say thank you, and also let's just backtrack a little bit, and we're gonna go through a brief synopsis, real quick, real fast. In 2015. I was in the army. Of course, I retired. I did 24 years. I was in the army, and I actually in 2015, I think it was, 2015, I actually end up going to the hospital. I was severely overweight. I was like 240, 250 at 5'9". I guess some of you guys are like, man, that ain't overweight. But if you're not working out, if you don't have muscles and it's just severely fat, being 5'9", over 230 is pretty obese for the army. You will bust tape. Ended up going to the hospital. I had high blood pressure. I was drinking. I was eating at 12 midnight. Ended up going to the hospital. I had a 200 over 105 blood pressure, which is pretty high. And the doctor was like, hey man, your kidneys is jacked up, you need to make a lifestyle change. And so because I was drinking, I was chewing tobacco, eating at 12 midnight, I wasn't working out at all. And just go figure, I was in the army and I wasn't working out. But trust me, it's a lot of people in the army like that. I hate to bust that bubble, but there's a lot of people in the army that are not working out and are not in shape and busting the body fat percentage, uh, height, weight, and standard. All right. So fast forward, I'm in Texas now. Fast forward, I moved to Hawaii around 17, around that time frame, and I promised myself, I would quit drinking, stop using tobacco, and with a lot of discipline. I'm not gonna say this was easy, but quitting alcohol was the easy part for me. Quitting tobacco was a little bit harder for me because I was working out. I ended up busting my lip at fight training one night at the UFC gym, local UFC gym. We were doing some boxing training. I got busted my lip, and so I actually was like, I went to the hospital, and I had a pretty severe cut on my lip, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna chew tobacco anymore because I don't want to get it infected. So for like 48 hours, I'm telling you, I was the most irritable person ever because it was draining out my system. But the whole time, what I was trying to do after that, I was trying to make sure I eat healthy, cut off the sugar. And we're gonna get into exactly how I overdid it in Hawaii as well. So in Hawaii, this whole process. So what I actually did is I wrote down my goals. I'm at 230. I was like, I want to be 184 by the summertime. So I wrote all these things out. I made my workout plans. I made what I wanted to eat. I tracked my carbs. I tracked my eating, my calories, and everything like that. All while I'm still in the army. So fast forward, in 4 years, I went from 230 pounds to about 140. So what I mean by is I was obsessed with it. So I was getting more obsessed with the weight on the scale versus what I was actually eating. So at one point, I wasn't even hardly eating. I was, burning 4,000 calories a day, and I was only intaking about 2,000 calories a day. So I was at a caloric deficit. So today is what I want to, with this episode, we're not going to deep dive into it. We'll get into that later, but I just want to give you how I structured my routine as far as to become a better person and all around, I would say, better person with a better attitude, and also with my eating habits and just becoming a healthier person. And if you follow my social media around that time frame, you could definitely see a lot of improvements as far as that goes. And the studies have actually showed, and I have two episodes. I mean, I have two articles I'm gonna post down below of this one. Studies show that if you have a morning routine, it improves your focus, your productivity, and your mental clarity throughout the day. And something similar is you don't have to do what I did, but I had my 4 o'clock wake up because I wanted to get to the gym. So I woke up at 4 o'clock. Then I would get to the gym around 5 o'clock. So I would ride my bike to the gym because everything was on Schofield Barracks. It's pretty much within a mile or 2 miles away. So I ride my bike to the regular gym, and then I would ride my bike to the I would work out for an hour, and then I would ride my bike to the PT field, do PT for about an hour and a half with with the Army, and then I would ride my bike back to the house, change, ride my bike to work, walk around all day in the motor pool because I was 88 Mike, I was transportation, so I walk around the motor pool all day. So keep in mind, I'm getting about 20, 30,000 steps a day. And then when I would get off, I would ride my bike because I lived a mile away from where I worked at. So I would ride my bike to uh to um to the house, eat a little bit, take a little quick nap, ride back to work for another 3, 4 hours, and then I would ride my bike back home. Then I would work out for an hour or 2 hours, and then I would eat, and then I would go back to sleep, and then I would do it all over again. And I had that same pretty much routine for 4 years. So that was my routine. You don't have to have the same routine, but the biggest caveat I'm trying to give to you is that if you have a certain routine, all right, it's more like a science of habit, instead of because a lot of those mornings I wasn't motivated, and it's what I want to share with you now is that small actions being the science of habits. Um, Hopefully, I'm not talking too fast for you. The Atomic Habits Principle by James Clear. He focuses on building transformative habits through small, consistent changes. And key takeaways are start small. If you want to start something, the reason why a lot of us quit is because we start and we have this big old thing we want to look. I want to be 200 pounds by this time instead of breaking it down into small things. Like, okay, over the next 4 years, I want to be this weight, but within the next month or so, the next 6 months, I want to be this weight, or I want to be at this level. I want to be able to run this far. I want to have this type of routine. Break it down into small habits. So focus on the 1% improvements daily. Just like I'm in the martial arts, if I want to become a better kicker, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I should be able to do 100 kicks in 1 minute and be able to hold my leg up for 3 minutes. If I can't do that now, I have to look, okay, well, let me be able to hold my leg up for 1 minute. 10 seconds. Stop. Do another one, 10 seconds. And then 2 or 3 weeks from now, I can hold it up for 20 seconds. So focus on 1% improvements daily. Tiny habits compounding significant results over time. So remember that. Start small. Focus on the 1% improvements daily. All right. Systems over goals. Let me say that again. Systems over goals. Sit down before you start this whole process. Sit down and develop systems and processes instead of just setting goals. All right. Goals give you direction, but your systems drive the progress. All right. So I can say, hey, I want to be 185 pounds by the summertime. But what system am I going to use to get there? All right. So that's when it means system, just mapping out the plan, the roadmap. You're not gonna, if you live in Texas, you're not gonna say, well, I wanna drive to Colorado. All right. Okay, how? Which interstate are you gonna take? What time are you gonna leave? Are you gonna gas up tonight? How much food are you gonna take? What are your rest stops at? Though that's a system that you're gonna have that, hey, every time I drive from Texas to Colorado, I'm going to use this system. Get up at 4 o'clock, get up at 7 o'clock, drive from Dallas to, El Paso in this many hours. My rest stops are going to be from every 2 hours to every 3 hours. That's a system. All right. And that is going to drive the process from you to get to Texas to Colorado. You get what I'm saying? All right. And identity-based habits, align habits with the person you want to become instead of saying, I want to lose weight, or say, I am someone say I am someone who values fitness. All right. Let me say that again. Instead of saying I want to lose weight, say I am someone who values fitness. And why do you value fitness? Because you like the aspect of being healthy. You want to live a healthy lifestyle. And a lot of people just say, "Oh, I want to lose weight," but why? What is the driving factor behind you saying I want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose weight? Because I want to get my cholesterol down. I want to get my blood pressure down. I want to be more active. I want to be more flexible to be able to move around with my kids, move around with the people at work. I want to be healthy by the time I get 60, 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? That is the things you want to say. You don't want to just say, "Oh, I want to lose weight." Everybody says that at the turn of the year. All right. Also, that's number three. Now, so number four is make habits obvious, easy, attractive, and satisfying. Use cues, reduce friction, associate habits with rewards, and celebrate small wins. Celebrate your small wins. All right. I have a watch, a Garmin watch. So when I run certain miles or get certain HRs or not HRs, but I ain't gonna say what's the word I'm looking for. When I reach certain milestones in running, right? So like if I run a 5K or 3K or 5K or 10K, if I run it the fastest I've ever done, it gives me a reward and I celebrate. Like, hey man, that's the fastest 10K I ran since I've been running. So I mark those milestones in and I celebrate and I'm happy about those things. All right. Just because I want to get to 184 or your goal weight, just because you're not there yet, don't mean you can't celebrate what's in between that journey. And I want to focus on that. Celebrate what's in between because it's not the end goal. It's the journey in between to where you get at. All right, now here's the biggest thing. Number five, the biggest thing I want to relate to you guys is track your progress. You will not know where you at or where you stand at in your journey if you don't track everything down. All right, now I track my workouts. I tracked my caloric intake. I calculated. I tracked my sleep. I tracked everything throughout the day. And then on Sunday, you just sit down and try to. Everything is not going to be peachy king, and you're not going to be step by step. Especially me being in the army, there was no way I was going to be able to track everything step by step every single day. But what I could track was my workout plans. If the army was like, "Hey, you got to do 24-hour duty," I know on the next morning I can't work out at 5 o'clock. So I moved that to a different day. Or even if I couldn't work out that day, it's okay. It happens. You're not gonna be able to work out every single day. I just like if I couldn't work out that Monday morning on my rest day, um, which was Fridays, I switched. I would go from okay, now Monday's my rest day. Now I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna work out that Friday. It's about being adaptive and overcoming. All right, but track your progress. Use the habits of trackers to reinforce consistency, and you can visualize your success. All right, because if it ain't wrote down, you don't even know if you reached that milestone or not. All right, all right. And environment design, number six, environment design. Shape your surroundings to support your desired habits and eliminate triggers for bad ones. All right. So you know that and I'm gonna just say with the people I hung with, I used to hang with alcoholics and drinkers. Now, when I wanted to get healthy, I started noticing my circle were people who actually like working out. We talked about working out. We actually scheduled events where we could go work out and do marathons and do hiking, things like that. So when you're trying to get into that mode, eliminating those bad triggers, like stop going out, hanging with people that just like to drink. Start looking for people who like to bike, who like to run, who like to do activity things, active things in life. All right. So here's the number seven thing. If you don't remember nothing else, embrace patience. Embrace patience. All right. Focus on consistency rather than instant results. Meaningful changes take time. I like to look at it on the 4 year spectrum, right? If you start today, right, and look at where you want to be 4 years from now, you know, even a year from now, but look on the fourth. I like to look at the further out, the short term, moderate term and long term. All right. I have a 4 year plan. Now I have that because I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I look at. I look at further out. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, Embrace the patience. You're not gonna if you want to lose 50 pounds, you're not gonna do it in one workout. Every single day you show up to the battle, and it becomes a habit. All right. And I'm gonna address the misconceptions. All right. Your routine don't have to start at 4 a.m. All right. My routine started at 4 a.m. because I was in the army and I wanted to work out before 6:30 PT. All right. I know if I wanted to get a good 1 hour workout for PT, I had to backwards plan. So my PT started at 6:30 for the army. I know if I wanted to get a workout from 5 to 6, I had to wake up at 4 o'clock. All right. That meaning I had to go to bed around 8 or 9 o'clock. All right. So with that being said, um, um, if you don't wake up at 4, all right, if you wake up at 6, or if you wake up, let's say 6 o'clock, you can still get the same hour workout if you wake up at 6. Say you got to be to work at 7 and you don't work out and you're like, I'm not getting up that early. You can do the same hour workout when you get off at noon or get off at 5 or get off at 7. The time doesn't matter when it comes to working out or consistency. All right. As long as you do it and get 1% better at it every single day, the time of day that you do your workout or whatever you got going on or studying doesn't matter, because as long as you do it, you'll be fine. All right. So we're going to, excuse me, building your morning routine. And if you're in your car, uh, take notes. If you at home listening to this podcast, take some notes. All right. Number one is start small. Introduce the idea of stacking habits. All right. Example, if you already make coffee every morning, take that time to write down one thing that you're grateful for. All right. Or if you're drinking water in the morning, all right, take that time when you first get up in the morning to say a prayer. All right. Get on your knees and pray to the Lord, or whoever or whatever you do. That's just what I do. All right. Every single morning before I get out of bed, I make sure make sure I pray and give thanks to the Lord Almighty that I'm up. And then after that, use the bathroom, do what I got to do. And then I make sure I drink some water, because if I have a morning run, that is what I need to make sure I'm hydrated on. All right. Then step 2 is set priorities. Identify activities that align with your goals, i.e., physical health, mental clarity, productivity. All right. So like I said in the morning, my physical is, now I've started to implement it, stretching, and I do, some 10 to 15 minutes of yoga and stretching before I run. Because for years, and for the last 4 years, 5, 6 years, I would just get up and do my regular little, active stretching or static stretching, then I go on a run. You know what I'm saying? Or active stretching, PT Army active stretching, and then I would go for a run. But then afterwards, I wouldn't stretch. And then even though I was steady working out or in shape, I felt myself getting tighter and tighter and tighter, especially my hamstrings, because I'm not stretching them. If you don't use them, you will lose them. All right. Your mental. Take a mental break sometime every single day. There's 24 hours in a day. You should be able to meditate or read at least for 10 minutes before you go into work, at lunch, early in the morning before anybody gets up. That's the reason I'm an advocate at getting up so early, is because that's when the world is asleep. You're up. Nobody's messing with you. You can read. You can, say prayers, read the Bible, a good book, and just get your mental clarity right. Meditate or read for 10 minutes. Organizational, plan out your day using a to-do list. There's a lot of to-do lists on Google. I'll put one, if you're on YouTube, I'll put one down below in the description. All right. Make your to-do list. Me personally, I like to do it the day prior. So that night before I go to bed, I like to make sure I look at what I got to do for the next day, the day prior, put out my running clothes, put out my workout clothes. So that way, and pack it up in my bag. So that way everything's already ready to go. All right. And stay flexible. All right. Stay flexible. Adapt your routine without feeling guilty. If certain days you don't hit your routine, or you're not able to work out that day, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Whatever your rest day was, like I said, switch that day that you couldn't work out to your rest day. And now that Friday was your rest day, now it's your workout day. So just remember, some mornings won't go as planned. That's okay. Just progress, not perfection. That is the goal. Progress, not perfection. That is the goal. All right. So we're gonna move on to your common pitfalls and how to overcome them. All right. Um, Here's the solution. Oh, well, I'm sorry, overcommitting. That's the number one pitfall. Overcommitting. All right. My solution is focus on 1 or 2 habits at a time. Focus on one or two things at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with stuff. Okay. And the pitfall number two is lack of motivation. That's why we already talked about rely. Here's my solution: rely on systems, not willpower. Use alarms, habit trackers, or accountability partners. Accountability partner is the biggest one for me. I love that one because I use social media to be an accountability partner. I had a couple buddies, one buddy in particular, who if he didn't see me post, at least once every 2 days, or every day or every other day, he would call or text like, "Hey, bro, you working out?" And so I would say, "Yeah, bro, I got it in today. Here's my workout. Here's my workout from earlier." Because some days I just like to work out. I don't like to put it on video. All right. So that's why we talk about relying on systems. All right. Not your willpower, because your willpower some days, it's a true testament. All right. Neglecting rest. My solution: stress the importance of proper sleep to fuel your mornings. You have to sleep. I don't care what you hear on YouTube or anywhere else. All right. I'm letting you know, Transform with Sennet said, stress, I stress the importance of proper sleep, and that'll fuel your morning. All right. If you're going to bed at 2 in the morning and trying to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, thinking you're going to have a good workout, it might be good the first day, but you're not a machine. You're not a machine. All right. All right. So, also, like I just said, share your stories with everyday people. All right. Share your stories. That's what I looked at, because you never know who you might inspire or impact. All right. It's okay to share your stories. And it's okay to start at square one sharing your story, because the journey in itself, be the superhero in your journey. All right. And so uh that's the biggest thing with me. And if you have a story that you want to share with me and we can get you up on the podcast, definitely would love to hear from you. And we'll get you locked in with me with Transform for Sennet. Especially, I like to hear, all too often, I'll be honest, we hear a lot of superstars, what they did, how they got from here to here, working out constantly and all this stuff. But we don't, a lot of times in life, we don't highlight the personnel who, average regular day hero Joe or Joette, that is actually impacting the community, impacting their self, changing their life, things of that nature. Just remember. So we're gonna recap. Small steps lead to big change. I want you to write these down. Write these down. All right. Small steps lead to big changes. Remember that. A morning routine is a foundation for a productive day. All right. I'm gonna say that again. Small steps lead to big changes. All right. A morning routine is a foundation for a productive day. All right. And I'm gonna challenge you guys this week. I'm gonna challenge you guys. I know it's gonna be Thanksgiving. You want to eat it up, eat up all the good food, the turkey, the ham. But we're gonna go like this. This week, commit to just one new habit for your mornings. And then on the video, if you're on YouTube, or hit me up on Facebook, or Instagram. All my links will be down below. And let me know how it goes. I would love to hear the feedback so I can post it on my on the YouTube channel or either the podcast. All right. Just remember, the way you start your day determines how you live your day. All right, I'm gonna say that again. The way you start your day determines how you live your day. If you start off pissed off, you're probably gonna be pissed off throughout the day. All right. So my one key thing is, when you get up in the morning, I do have a Bible app, and I have a coach and a mentor that sends me Bible verses every single morning. So this is my key caveat to you, my warning to you. If you want to have an awesome day, now if you don't read the Bible, you don't believe in that, hey, just take it with a grain of salt. But what I'm gonna tell you is that if you're a believer, read the Bible first thing, or say a prayer first thing in the morning, thanking God for waking you up, thanking God for your blessings. Read the Bible and drop your phone. Don't look at no social media platforms, nothing else, unless you about to work out and you need some, YouTube motivational music. All right. But I'm gonna tell you, when I run, it's better for me to run without music, because I can collect my thoughts and think. All right. But the better way to start your day is not to start it on the phone looking at social media, because you might see something you don't want to see, and then that messes up the rest of your day. All right. Other than that, y'all remember, we always all gas, no brakes. I thank everybody for actually listening and tuning in. All right. And we will be doing a caveat, another episode on this. And if I'm not mistaken, me and a good friend of mine, retiree, we're going to be talking about some transitions that you can make in life to help you along this journey. Other than that, all gas, no brakes.